All right, so we're now on Unit 7 of the Google Educator Level 2 training. So I'm going to open up with a present. And all right, so Unit 7 is broken down into four different sections. Um, Unit 7 is not too bad. The next one coming up, Unit 8 is a lot. I think it's six or six. Yeah, I think it's six different sections. So Unit 8's a lot. This unit's not too bad. So all right, so it's broken down into deliver interactive slides presentations. So that's focused on Google Slides. Then the next one is teach with interactive YouTube videos, and they do a little bit with they talk a little bit about creating your own channel. Something I want to do later on is teach, get into a little bit more with YouTube. So the second section is kind of YouTube. The third section is find more ways to add interaction to instruction, and they add a couple different things. And same thing with the last section, find and adopt interactive, other curricula. So let's get to it, right? So here's the task list for this whole section. Pretty easy. All right, so if you have this slides presentation, if you have the slides presentation, and there's a link to it below, but you don't need to get the slides presentation. All these videos are in my Google Educator playlist. But if you have the presentation, you just click here and it'll take you to do this. It'll to one of my videos. These two videos are from Google, and this is a video that I made. So it'll teach you how to add, to insert shapes, images, objects, and slides, which is very easy. You just go to the insert, add video thumbnails. There's two video on that, and screen reports, and go to page based on answering forms. That's kind of like differentiated instruction. So let's uh let's get moving here. All right, so deliver interactive slides presentation. And when it's interactive, they mean for you and the students to work together. Here's a quick video from. They expect you to know this from the level 1 course. Okay, we already passed level 1 course, so you should know all these things here in this video, right? Insert text, arrange objects. That's all part of level 1 of Google Slides. Now, if you want to go back and view it, go ahead. So you heard of think outside the slides. Well, think outside the box. This is think outside the slides. So use Google Slides for interactive learning, and that can change the way students engage and process and apply concepts. This whole presentation I have right here is a Google Slides. A Google Slides presentation. So just look at the things that I do here. Teacher-led slides presentations can now be shared directly with students for greater interaction and enhanced comprehension. Just want to jump in real quick. There's also a good add-on for Google Slides, a great one called Pear Deck. If you really want to get students interacting and things like that. They don't mention this in the level 2, but it's really good. When students can view Google Slides at their own pace on their own device, they have the ability to pause, go back, interact, and to interact with the digital features, and it's more of a personalized learning experience for them because they take control. That's what the next one says. So they also have the power to take control of their learning. I can't read the bottom because of this little thing right here, but basically I'm pretty sure it says collaborative activities. You can, like, I just I'm doing summer school right now, and I have students, they share a Google Slides presentation among themselves, and they all work on it together, and they can collaborate on it, comment. A group of 3 kids, the one kid does the first 5 slides, next one does the next 5. They all work together, so it's also a great tool for collaboration, and getting content out. So transform learning through interactive slides. Remember, sitting in class during a slides presentation lecture, it says just remember that, like, kind of remember how boring it is, right? The slides used to be overwhelming amounts of text and charts, and it needed more exploration, and now it was hard to grasp the concepts basically. And I see some where it's just a ton of text on there. Now, I'm guilty of that too sometimes. If you could look at this, I probably have too much text, but I do it because this presentation, this level 2 course, there's just so much in there. I don't want to leave too much out. But I still try to jazz it up a little bit. I've got some icons. I got a little image of the student down here. I got the slides press. I try to break it up a little bit. This might not be the best example, but um, you know, don't put too much text, is what they're saying. With Google Slides, the learning experience can be entirely transformed into one that's engaging and interesting. So when they say transform slides, you want to make it interactive, but you want to make it engaging. So first, think about how would you package your lesson content and instructions in the slide deck that can be shared with your students. So right here, how think, when you're creating a slide, and if you're a history teacher, and let's say you're doing one on George Washington or something like that, think about how you would do it, right? You want to have maybe a big picture of George Washington, a little information. Next one, war, maybe a short video about him in the war. Then maybe have, like, kind of similar to a Hyperdoc, a bunch of links that you could send them somewhere. Second, think about how you can shift students from consumers of information to creators of content. When we talk about students becoming creators of content, that's using Google Slides for them to create their own lessons to present and share with the class, which, is something that I like having them do. So the Google Trainer, the skills, Skill Shop has a couple cards there. The first card says package digital lessons using Google Slides. So when you include instructions, visual samples, and tutorials in a Google Slides presentation, you're meeting the needs of many different types of learners. As a teacher, you have shifted from a lecturer to a curator of content, which allows more time in the class and more time for you to work with students. Um, you know, and that's where education is going. It's becoming more of, finding the right videos, especially with the virus and everything like that, than teachers just standing in front of the room and just spouting out knowledge and things. So card 2 says Google Slides and forms can make the perfect match. Link a Google form within a slide deck to check for comprehension. Record comments, or you could even do a quiz. Answers will come to your drive organized in a Google Sheet. Remember, right, when Google Forms, when you send out a Google form, you can choose that response destination, and you can, download it into a Google Sheet, which is great for analyzing data. A key theme of Google Sheets. Transform learning through interactive slides. All right, so card 3, interactive note taking with Google Slides. Okay. Suggest students add additional information to the speaker notes section at the bottom of each slide. It's funny because I didn't really, for a while, I just really didn't even notice it there. And even when I was studying, I kind of didn't understand it. It's right at the bottom. I'm not going to, maybe I wouldn't go out of this, but if when you're working on a slide, if you look at the bottom, there's like these 3 little dots here, you could just grab your hand and lift it up. Okay? So you create activities that lead students to think more deeply by highlighting specific portions of the text using a highlighter tool. I will show you the notes, the speaker notes section towards the end. Student-centered content using Google Slides. So students become creators of content when they're given the opportunity to create their own slides presentation, right? You could add vocabulary words to slides and ask students to create visual definitions of vocabulary words. That's a great idea. Engage, educate, and inspire. Have students ready to create public service announcements using Google Slides, screencasting tools, and YouTube. Publish digital books. Okay, this has never been as easy as now using Google Slides. So, I know a lot of educators. There's like other ones out there. Whatever. YouTube is out there. They use the Google Slides to make their little books and things like that. The ability to create impressive graphic designs which emphasize fiction and nonfiction features, enables my students to design pages that transform their traditional paper versions. So, here are some more things you can do. Some teachers use Google Slides to publish biography reports. You can create introductions to connect a new group and provide opportunities for students to learn to use slides in a friendly way. Connect new groups. That's kind of like having icebreakers and things like that. A lot of icebreaker activities are out there with Google Slides. All right, so got through that pretty quick. They're nice, easy. Like I said, this section is not too bad. Google Slides are capable of transforming learning by what? Enabling students to collaborate, share, and create interactive learning experiences that weren't possible before. Which of the following can you add to a slide to make it interactive? Okay, you can definitely link a form. Instructions to guide completions of a creative piece of work. You see where it says a static image? I just want to jump back right there. You can add images and you can link those images to like web pages and things like that. I do that a lot. But a static image you wouldn't want. When having your students create with Google Slides, you should always what? Offer choice, give authentic purpose, and encourage collaboration, which showcases greater depths of knowledge. Using Google Slides interactively in the classroom benefits learning in all of the following ways except what? Except what? Except it allows for lectures to be colorful and transitional. Teach. Okay, so the next section here. Teach with interactive YouTube videos. And here's just a video I made. It's on cards, end screens. It says polls. I just want to talk to you about polls real quick. I think it's just a couple of weeks ago they just got rid of polls in YouTube. Now, when they get rid of stuff, I don't know if it's always taken off the exam. Like you can still find polls discussed in the on Skillshop right there on the Google Educator Teacher Center training. So it takes them time to sort of update this. So if you're going to take this test soon, you probably still should have an idea what polls are, and it might still be on the test. They might ask a question about that. So but end screens, channels, cards, that's a whole video. It's part of the playlist. So teach with interactive YouTube videos, more than just a video. Okay, so teachers everywhere are realizing that interactive videos, they can be fun and engaging as a way to deliver quality instructions. There's card. Okay, so if you're watching this video on YouTube, there should be a card up top. It looks like a little eye as you're watching this video. And what I do is I link this to like other Google technology videos, and I think I threw on. I think for this one I'm throwing on one on like a student awareness, to get them not to do drugs or something like that. So you could see it on this video yourself here. All right, so an interactive video is different than many of the instructional videos out there because viewers can play an active role. That I think when they're talking about this little one right here, and I think they're talking about polling. Okay, so again, they're getting rid of polls. Click on the cards for websites, videos, playlists, channels. This is when you create a card. So when I create a card here, I can link it to a website, a video, a playlist. I usually just do these two. I used to do polls a lot. I used to ask like good questions. I liked polls because I would ask like, oh, do you, all education questions like, oh, do you think the teachers union is good? What are some good things about the teachers union? What are bad things about all different stuff. So interactive videos allow viewers to follow instructions of a prompt of a video, answer critical questions, access information, and it continues, right? Interactive videos create powerful learning experience in which the viewer actively participates. You can always, post a comment and have students, respond to the comment below in the comment section. And remember, you can make a video private, unlisted, or public. So sometimes unlisted if you want to make sure nobody's posting comments, or you can make it private just for the students. Educators are able to create a higher level of engagement with content. Okay, and this is all just talking about videos. Okay, videos can be added to any type of playlist. I put here no polls are removed. Allow students to have ownership of the learning process and provide access to additional content to further their learning. All of this you can do with videos, right? So using videos, you can make it more engaging if you put videos out there that are interesting and fun. You can take these videos, you can curate them, make them into a nice playlist, and keep them organized. Videos allow students to have ownership over the learning process, meaning they can pause, they can rewind, they can go back. And you can provide access to additional content to further learning. I mean, you could provide, if you're teaching a lesson here, you can add an extra video for them. So these are all things you can do with video, specifically YouTube. Okay, what is a card? All right, so you got to watch that video there. I made this little eye here because it's like at the top. Cards are an additional option for adding interactivity into your videos and can be accessed through the entire video. If they go to the top, you can access that card. Cards are teasers. They combine a title, image, and text for different videos or websites. And what I do when I take these cards, I have them pop up. I can have them pop up at different times. As the creator of this video, when let's say this video right now, and because I'm not live streaming, I pre-record it. I can go in and I can go to my YouTube channel, and I can go to my creator page, and then I'll pick, I'll click on the cards, and then I'll pick where do I want to, this teaser to pop up, that teaser to pop up. All of them are, the teasers are within the cards, right? So do I want, that little I button to pop up at 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? So if viewers click the teaser, then they're taken to new videos, and you could try that out right now. As you're watching this video, cards are basically the next level of annotations. It used to be annotations, and I used to have annotations on my older videos, and they got rid of annotations, and now it's the cards, which are much better, and they're optimized for tablets and smartphone users. So I remember when I used to do annotations, it would say, "Oh, you can't use it on phones." All right, so here we go. All right, so you got to be able to perform these tasks. Okay, this is what you got to be able to do during the exam. You got to add and edit cards. And if you click right here, I'll take you right to my video, to the exact section, show you how to do that. I'll take you right to this section, polling with cards, live chatting, comments and supplemental links, and I think I have some images coming up for you. Yeah, they're coming up. Just wanted to make sure. All right, so in reading, interactive YouTube videos are valuable when students are listening to a written passage. Okay, so it's like you can use YouTube videos to have students sort of like listen along as they read. I think that's what they're getting at here. To create these videos, and this is for a teacher now. If you're an English teacher, to create these, just record yourself reading a book out loud. Okay, and let them read along. This is a good idea. Upload this video to YouTube. Anybody can watch. Okay, maybe you get some views. With polls, use cards to provide a place for students to predict what they think will happen next in the story. Again, I left this polls up here because you don't know when they're going to take this out. Once they choose, the card can link them. So once they choose the card, okay, go back. So let's just say once they choose the card can link them to the next part of the story, meaning the next YouTube video. So like what you could do is have like, okay, chapter 1, and then you could have another video in your card, link them to chapter 2, and then as they're watching chapter 2, maybe they get a little bored, they could jump ahead and go to the next section. And that card's going to be there towards the end. You can make this yourself reading a book, and then you go, okay, now please take a look at the interactive card, and click to the next section of the book. The static book has now become interactive. Okay, so the book now that you're just reading, now they can click and go to different sections. Enrich the classroom with interaction. In math, you can present students with a method of graphing data in a video. Teachers can use a card link to direct students to your class website. Okay, something you could do. You can also link to websites. Okay, so in the video, you can just put a link there to the class website as you're doing a method of graphing. Use Desmos. Students can pick up additional materials, see more videos to help get a better understanding of graphic data. Now, when I do my cards, I never link it to websites, but that's something else you could do. This way, students are guided as they move through individual learning paths, right? So you can use these videos to create individual learning paths as students click on different parts of the card, they'll go in different directions. Enrich the class. Okay, we're here. Okay, so students are moved when they have choice. Okay, this is a big theme now. Empowering students when they have choice over the direction of their learning and curriculum. It constantly comes up in this Google Educator Level 2. Use interactive YouTube video science lessons to provide students with choice and opportunity to learn more about a topic. So maybe they're learning about the solar system, and then you link to another video they want to learn about that. You can use link cards throughout the video to provide students the opportunity to visit another video and learn more about the topic. And hopefully you get them hooked, hopefully you get them engaged, right? It's all about engagement here. If you use interactive videos on a regular basis, your students become familiar with the format, and you can begin to put them in charge of creating interactive videos. That's later on we're going to get to, where you want students to start, using the internet and creating their own videos and stuff. All right, so add and edit cards. Okay, so this is my little channel here, right? So teachings and education, right? So click your icon at the top right, and then I go down to Creator Studio, and then you go to videos, and then you're gonna go to cards, and then you could edit the card. Um, there, this, there. I don't know if they changed it from the classic to the new one here, but this looks like the classic one. Although the new one is almost it's the same exact steps, except when you click on this thing here, the card would just be on the right, but it's almost the same exact thing. And I'm not sure if they, with the exam, if they switch it to the new ones here. But listen, the steps are going to be the same, right? So you're going to click here, you're going to go to Creator Studio, then you'll see videos here because you see it was Studio Beta, and then you'll pick your video, and you'll pick Edit, and then you'll go to Cards. So it's the same process. It's this Creator Studio, video, Edit, Cards. Okay, same process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just looks a little different here. And here, to edit cards. Okay, so you can add new cards. You can edit cards. You click this little pencil thing here, and then you could change cards. Sometimes I have to change them. So I'm in video here. I'm add cards. If you want to change them, listen. The edit thing is always the same. So we should be getting good at this here. So this thing asks you to edit cards, right? So if you want to edit cards, you're just gonna hit that little thing right there, just to edit, the edit button. And this showed us how to add cards. All right. So insert a poll. I don't I don't think I don't think they're gonna do. I don't think you're gonna have this part here. So I'm not gonna worry about this because they're getting rid of polls. They might ask you a question on it, but I don't think you have to worry. It's basically the same thing. Anyways, it would be in analytics. It's not available now, so don't worry about it. All right. So comment and supplemental links in Creator Studio. Click community settings. So you're gonna go to community settings. Scroll down and choose the comment settings, and then hold potentially inappropriate comments. That's what I have here. All right. So, and this was all in that video I have. Okay. All right. All right. So here we go. What options in YouTube Creator Studio allow interactivity to be added to videos? Cards, right? That's like the whole section here was cards, right? Cards make it interactive. Cards have a clickable teaser that appear over the video. Yeah, right. That you should see it sometime coming up. Cards can be accessed throughout the entire video. Yeah, you can access. You could just press that little eye. Which types of cards can be used? You can use a video or playlist. You can use a channel. You can use a donation, a poll, or a link. Now listen, to double check today, I just wanted to see if they took this off. They didn't take it off. Okay, so right now it's correct if you take the the skill shop training and everything, but they're going to change it, I think. But right now, if you want to get credit, you got to click poll. All right, more ways to add interaction to instruction. All right, so we know that our students are more engaged when work is individualized and interactive. Okay, it's a theme, right? Individualized. We talked about personalized learning in the beginning. That was Unit 2. Google Tools allow us to get students to interact with the content. Okay, remember, we're getting away from the textbook. Become self-directed learners. That was what we were just talking about with the cards, where they can go on their own paths. Collaboration is always a big theme here. We're talking about slides, right? They can collaborate. Use a combination of tools simultaneously. Earlier I talked about combining slides and forms, right? If you really want to, as a teacher, present information, get information, and then it's actually combining slides, forms, and then sheets, okay, to analyze. So put out the information, get the information in. So put out the information in slides, get the information in forms, and analyze it in sheets, and follow an individualized learning path, okay, which is kind of like self-directed learners, except you create the path. All right, so interesting innovators. A Hyperdoc, okay, this is also in section 2. It's an interactive Google Doc that guides students through innovative and inquiry-based learning lessons using directions, graphic organizers, links, and possible collaborations. I really like Hyperdocs. If you click on this link here, it'll give you one, An example from the Google Trainer Center: the learning can be made to be self-directed, so students just kind of follow at their own pace. You'll guide them. It's a Hyperdoc. Again, it's just a Google document where kind of, they just click on these links and it sort of takes them in different places. They mentioned inquiry-based learning lessons. Google kind of pushes inquiry-based learning. There is some research out there where inquiry-based learning is kind of like similar to discovery learning, where the research isn't 100% behind it. There's conflicting, evidence whether it's successful or not. But I know it's getting popular nowadays. Choose your own adventures using Google Forms. Okay. All right. So we talked about the Hyperdoc, which has the links. It's an interactive document. And choose your own adventures using Google Forms allow students to answer questions, and then different resources, videos are presented depending on what answer. This is with a form. It's like I said, you could kind of differentiate a quiz by allowing students to go to different sections based on their answers, but you can make it an adventure. It's just like choose your own adventure using a form means like, oh, okay, so maybe you'll say, hey, what do you want to learn about? Do you want to learn about the planets, or do you want to learn about World War II? And then they say they click the planet one, then you take them to a new section, and then they learn about the solar system, and then World War II, they learn about the Axis powers and things like that. So and that's there's that for what I just said, that's just like the most boring example. They have so many better examples for choose your own adventures and really detailed. That was just like something basic I said. So all right, so here are some cards they give you from the center, and give me 1 second here. All right, so use Hyperdocs to guide students through their learning using directions, images, links, and graphic organizers. I mentioned links, but yeah, there's a lot more you could do. You could have images, graphic organizers. Like I said earlier, I used to like to put images in, and then you could click on the image, and it'll take you to like a website, or take you to a video. Students love that they can take control over their learning experience. A Hyperdoc organizes their learning objective too. There was a link there. I probably should have. It gives you a great example. Maybe at the end I'll go back and show you what it looks like. So using multiple Google apps as a team helps redefine my classroom. So now it's talking about collaboration, right? A path of links guides students through assignments. When teachers don't restrict an activity to one particular app, we're able to create a more authentic learning experience. So that kind of goes back, like I said, with the slides presentation, right? We're level 2 now, so we've got to be able to integrate all these Google apps. Okay, with Google Slides, you have the possibility of interactive slideshows. Teachers use hyperlinks to link to outside resources, or to get other slides in the deck. I'd like to use Google Drawings sometimes too, with these hyperlinks. Make like a nice image. Have students interact with the slideshow, and make them less passive, and make them more engaged. You know what I mean? When they're clicking and going to different sites, then that's them actually doing something, so they're not passive anymore. Google Forms can be interactive, and they can be differentiated, like I said, using that go to page based on answer. And I have a video on that too. Forms have been a game changer to many teachers, especially for quizzes. Okay, this is the one. So I show you how to how to sort of differentiate, similar to what you'll be using for like create your own adventures. But I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's in the playlist. All right, so resources for support. Hyperdocs can be used just about anywhere in the curriculum. You can do it for a bunch of different subjects. Let's think about a few specific characteristics of the Hyperdoc, right? So you can opportunities for collaboration, student to student and teacher to student. Okay, directions to guide students through their learning at their own pace. Graphic organizers, okay, to organize information in student work. Links to additional resources, learning activities, powerful, thoughtful, provoking questions. I'm gonna open this up right now, just so you get a look. So uh, we're just staying here with the Hyperdoc. Give it a second. I'm gonna have to make a copy of it. So this is a sample here. It's called a Hyperdoc sample. Look at, you can see all the links here. Okay, nonfiction notes. Yeah. All right. So this is just a quick look here. I don't want to waste too much time, and it's like killing the internet here. So text evidence, my thinking. How should we manage? These are all linked. Okay. I'm gonna exit out though, because I don't want to take too much time. All right. So let's get back to this. All right. So more ways to add interaction to instruction. Here we go. So that was just a Hyperdoc, just a resource example there for you. All right, so create your own adventure. Here are the steps. Okay, make a plan for possible uh, paths for forms users can take. Remember, the main thing here is it's create your own adventures, and then it's the Hyperdocs. With the create your own adventures, the main thing they want you to be able to do is go to section based on answer. So know that for the quiz. So, all right. So make a plan, then create a title for the new form. Before adding questions, add new sections to your form. So first add the sections because you want to know where to send them. So you want to have the section ready based on the answer. Use your plan to know how many sections you'll need. So again, that's more planning. Be sure to name and describe your sections. Uh, Go back to the first section and edit, the first multiple choice question. Click the option labeled go to section based on answer. That's how you do it, right? So you make your question and then you can, click when you click the question, you'll see it's like three little dots. Okay, it's at the bottom there. It's like a more, and then you'll be able to select go to section based on answer. So remember, you would want to go to the first section, and then you want to edit the multiple choice question because you'll want to send them. And to edit it, you'll click like it's like three little dots, and then you'll click go to section based on answer, and then you could send them to different sections. Again, that's all in the video though. Okay, use the option to guide forms users to specific pages, and continue adding this type of question in all sections. So then you will go to the next section, ask another question. Where do you want to send them? Where do you want to send them? Where do you to each section? And that's your own adventure basically. It's just a form, and then sending them to different sections, send them to different extensions, different sections. Okay, give it a go here. Like we were talking about, like these things are linked here. Okay, notice when I put my hand over, it has a click. I can click on this and it'll take me somewhere. That's why I say don't forget to click these little stars. It'll take me to a Hyperdoc for you to work on your own. All right, so Google Docs can be used to guide students through an interactive self-paced learning activity. Is that true? Of course it is. And that's, we've talked about that in the Hyperdoc. Google Docs slides forms can be turned into an engaging and interactive learning experience by what? By using what? Links to other places in a file, links to outside Google tools, and a differentiated learning path. Right? With differentiated, we're talking about forms and that go to different section, and that's a big one here. So a differentiated learning path that meets the individual needs of the student. You should pick a single Google tool and stick with it. Combining them just confuses people. Is that true? No, right? The Google wants you using as many tools as possible, right? Come on, that's their whole thing here. Remember, Google's still a business here. So you should pick so obviously they're gonna put it false. They want you using as much of their merchandise as possible. I mean, I shouldn't say merchandise; it's all free. Although they get money from ads and whatnot. All right. So Google Forms can be used for the following. What could they be used for? Collect data, choose your own adventure story, a differentiated quiz, and a guide for students to work through as an interactive learning activity. So they're just saying all these things you can do with forms, and forms is one of the biggest tools for teachers. Forms in Classroom and Drive are like your top three, I think. All right, so this is the last section here. Find and adapt other curricular to your needs. All right, don't reinvent the wheel, basically, which is good. They're saying you don't have to, don't don't feel obligated to create your own videos and create your own this and put all this work. You know, work as a team here, right? So that's what the first thing says. Many aspects of life become better when teamwork is involved. As educators, we need to work as a team, and we need to access a huge number of resources. You know, when I was first, I remember when I was first teaching, and I was teaching all these different subjects, and I needed, some resources and everything. And I always remember there was some teachers very helpful, shared, and there were other teachers you could just tell they don't want to, they just, they don't want to share. It can be very competitive with some teachers. Form a proficient and well organized group. When you form a group, make sure it's like somebody you get along with. That way, everyone can utilize the power of technology to reach teachers and resources across the world. Okay, this is similar to Unit 1 when we talk about our PLN. And you want to branch out, not just the school you work with. We can enrich our classroom instruction, management, and overall experience by learning from those around us and share ideas and resources too. So again, right, this whole slide is about saying don't put all the work in if you can. Somebody else can help you out and share with you. Analyzing quality. As you begin to look for quality sources to enrich your practice, you need to keep one thing in mind. What is your intention? Okay, so what do you want? What are you looking for? Well, they give us a couple cards here, and the first one is power of peers. So we cannot ignore the power of in-person collaboration. This is and always will be a powerful way to get information and find quality resources of instruction. That means talking to your next door neighbor in the classroom. Now, who knows what's going to happen in September this year, but it's always going to be a powerful way, right? Person to person. A Google search is good too, right? Uh, what do you do when you want to know something? You Google it. As teachers, as teachers, we're constantly googling information. Effective search techniques makes it easier to find quality resources. Now, I have a video on search techniques and things like that. I should probably insert it in here somewhere, but it's not. Okay, a social bookmarking. There are numerous social bookmarking sites great for keeping and organizing and seeing other teachers' bookmarks. Sheets could be used to create a library of URLs with different tabs representing different topics, grades, or subjects. Google Keep, okay, I like that a lot. I have it on my cell phone. Can have shared notes. Each note could have a topic, and it could be a collection of website resources. Okay, um, again, this is all about curating. Okay, so it says the topic of this unit is find and adapt curriculum, but it's also about organizing it. I feel like is the big thing here. Using student research skills. You and your students should be able to analyze a website address. This goes back to level one. Closely analyze the look, the feel, the viewpoints, understand the source and creator of the site information. So if you're going to a government site, you should have .gov, right? If you're going to like the Department of Education, make sure it says .edu or something like that. Don't forget what I said earlier with the you could as you Google and you enter a website in the search bar, in the upper left hand side, right where the address is, you should see a little, it looks like a little lock, and if it's locked, that means you can trust it. If you see an I, you press information, it'll tell you some information about it. Probably that whether it's probably that it's not that safe. And if you see like a little red, it's like a little red triangle, I think it tells you don't put your information there because it's probably dangerous. So you know, just a heads up there with that. How does it feel? Okay, assess the web page on your visit. Right, is the website well maintained? Okay, whenever you go to a website, it says assess the feel, and that's what it is. It's intuition. Are there like hundreds of advertisements everywhere? Does the site have an intuitive design? Does it feel current? Pay attention to your feelings. Okay, kind of like the force is with you on this one here, right? How do you feel about this? Do you feel it's safe? Okay. They probably should add that thing about the little lock on the website too in their training. Um, the about page. Important for validation. Okay, yeah. So the about page is good too because okay, let's say you get something and you know, uh, you're not 100% sure about the feel. Well, what you could do is you can go to the about page to find a little bit more information. So when you're looking at a possible source, it's important to. Sorry about the phone. It's important to check out the about us page and it gives you some information and things like that. Like on this YouTube, I put a little about me, I think, just to, in case somebody wants to know. Um, Sorry. Does this site have a mission? Okay, that's good too. Um, do you believe in the mission? Okay, read the site's mission. Okay. Guru, and I think I'm pretty sure Guru they took off here. Um, so don't worry about Guru that much. I'll take this off. So analyzing quality. Sometimes a district assigned textbooks just don't make sense. Consider Khan Academy. I love to use Khan Academy. It's my go-to with videos, practice, data analysis. Um, First off, now Khan Academy, you know, it's like a school, right? I mean, you can watch videos, but they also have practice problems, and then they'll provide some data on how you did as a student and things like that. It's come a long way, and the Khan Academy is great. Khan programs have math videos at every level, so students can access tutorials. You can find more videos here on YouTube Ed, Khan Academy, Learn Zillow, Ed Puzzle. But Khan Academy is one you really, especially for math. Okay, like I said, they've got practice now, a lot of stuff. So spend some time teaching students how to analyze websites. Um, to analyze websites, that's what we were talking about. Here, how does it look, the about page, things like that. All right, so looking closely at a web address can be helpful when analyzing the site's quality level. Yeah, right. If it's a government one, you want to see .gov or something like that. A social bookmarking can be helpful to teachers because why? It allows them to see what other teachers are bookmarking. Helps organize bookmarks and makes it so a bookmark is never lost. Okay. And what is, yeah? I mean, the first one says forces them, so that's not going to be the answer. Khan Academy offers users what? Video based instruction, also practice problems. Teachers can assign content, and a way for teachers to collect student data. So Khan Academy has come a long way. They do a lot of great things. Videos can be a great way to curate online resources for your students and enrich learning. Is that true? Yeah, right. That's the whole point of this thing, right? Curating the videos, getting them out there. You can flip that classroom. All right, so here we go. Let's finish this up. Mr. James is frustrated with his curriculum. He feels as if most activities have the students as just passive listeners and don't offer much choice or self direction. So he set a goal to use Google tools in a more interactive and engaging ways. So, what lesson characteristics will increase student engagement? Interaction, self direction, combining multiple apps, we said, right? And access to outside resources through links. So all of these things here can make it more engaging. Mr. James could create a hyperdoc that guides students through an activity, linking students to additional resources and activities as needed. What makes a doc a hyperdoc? Links to other apps, graphic organizers to organize thinking, and images and linked videos. Okay, this wouldn't make sense, right? The only that's an exclusion word. All right, let's keep going. Oh, sorry. All right, so using Google Forms as choose your own adventure activities can be a little complicated the first time you do it. Your form has to have which of the following settings for this type of activity. At least one multiple choice or list question, right? So they have to answer a question, and then you could send them to different sections. Okay. It also has to have the sections like I just said. And you don't need a video or a theme, but you definitely could. What makes interactive videos more powerful and engaging than static videos? The ability for students to interact with the content. Students can further their learning by accessing linked content. And students have a choice, right? Choice is a big thing. When utilizing interactive slides in the classroom, it's important to shift students from consumers of information to what? Creators of content. They're going to get to that later, right? So, we want them to create their own slides presentations. We want them to do this on their own so that they can function as they leave school. When looking for content to send to students, Mr. James can use the Chrome Web Store to personalize student learning by what? Finding apps that facilitate learning the curriculum, direct his students to use previously recommended apps to learn at their pace, and yeah, find Chrome themes and okay. Why would Mr. James benefit from finding other high quality sources to use in his classroom? Why? Why would he benefit from finding other good resources, right? Why would he benefit? Well, his students can access information from all around the world, not just his room. He might find content from an expert in that area. Okay. Remember, you used to have to bring in the experts to talk to the class. You would bring in the World War II expert to sit down and talk to, which is actually great and things if you could find it. But you can find a video on it. His number of resources increases dramatically, so he can choose the best possible lessons for his students. Okay. All right. So listen, this is your unit 8, the next one. All right. So it's a lot here. It's 6 units. I'm gonna try to get to this. I'm gonna try to get this whole thing done here. So I got 8, 9, 10. I got 4 units left. Try to get it done as soon as I can. As for now, I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me for this video, and hopefully I'll get this one done. Hopefully I'll get it done tomorrow. I will see you later.